Hey guys, Chris here, Guys Group Counseling, licensed clinical social worker. Stick around. I want to talk a little bit about setting limits with others. So this idea of setting limits, it's something people talk about a lot, but sometimes people aren't always sure what we mean by that. So really, it means setting up boundaries. So saying no to people. Telling people that you can do them a favor, but maybe at a certain time, right? So literally, just kind of thinking about what your values are and what your hopes are for yourself, and then communicating them effectively. So a lot of times where boundaries get blurry is when people just want to please others. And they're used to always saying yes. So when something's asked of them, even if they really don't want to do it, they end up saying yes anyway. This can happen at different stages in life where people's boundaries are tested, and not through any fault of anybody else, just natural stages of life. So, for instance, when somebody becomes a parent for the first time, they have to make decisions about family life, how to handle their own children and the interactions that they have. Their time is a lot more limited, so they can't say yes to everybody. So they have to establish boundaries there. Same thing when somebody gets married, right now, or in a serious relationship for that matter. Now you have somebody else whose needs you have to consider, another place for boundaries. So this will come up for people at different points in their life, and sometimes it catches people off guard because they felt like they didn't necessarily need to have firm boundaries or even very well defined boundaries at certain aspects of their life, maybe when they were single, in college, that kind of a thing. And then as they've developed more relationships, that kind of a thing, had more obligations. Now they find that they do, and they're maybe not used to setting them. So that's really what we mean by that, and I'm particularly interested in the way that it changes for people over time. So you can kind of take a minute to reflect on what your boundaries are, and one way to do that is to identify what your values are and what's important to you, and being able to communicate then if somebody is requesting something of you or somehow infringing on those values, where you're at a decision point where you'll have to be assert yourself in some ways. um, so there's different strategies for holding your boundaries. Assertiveness is one of them, but there are others that we can talk about later. But just wanted you to take a minute to be able to reflect on kind of what your own personal boundaries are and how they may have changed for you over time. So thanks, and we'll talk again soon.